unbelievable. Did you see that? It forced me right off the road.
What was that thing? It must have been a deer. I never saw a deer with red boots.
Oh, that was no deer. It looked more like a person, but it was moving way too fast.
Oh, my God. Where are you going, Dad?
Getting out to see if there's any damage to the car.
Well, don't worry about us. What?
Oh, man, this tire is totally flat. How am I supposed to get to Philadelphia in time for my meeting now?
Oh, your flight doesn't get in until 6 in the morning. Maybe you could just get in late tonight.
Oh, jeez. How am I going to fix it? Oh, and the spare is flat, too. Don't you realize I'm supposed to be in Philadelphia tonight in order to prepare for the meeting tomorrow in Chicago?
Well, maybe someone could give you a ride from the company.
They're there already, Tracy. I stayed late to see her chorus concert.
I knew this would end up being my fault.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Nothing.
That's great. That's the thanks I get for sacrificing time for you.
Some sacrifice.
Excuse me? You have no idea, young lady, what it takes to be successful and raise a family.
Whatever.
Oh, I hate that word. You know, if you have something to say, why don't you say it?
Why? You wouldn't listen anyhow.
Oh, brother.
Listen, Ryan, what she means is you may have gone to the choral concert, but you weren't really there. You're out in the lobby on your cell phone all night.
Look, Tracy, I am way too upset to talk about this right now. I mean, if I don't focus on this week, I could lose this account.
What about this account, Ryan? What about us?
Look, I said I'm too upset to talk about it. We'll talk about it when I get back on Christmas afternoon.
Christmas afternoon? You're not getting back until Christmas afternoon?
What about Christmas Eve and Christmas morning?
Can't be helped.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, that's funny. I'm going to call AAA. Oh, no service. Now there's a surprise. What else could go wrong tonight? Can you hear me now?
Of course I can hear you.
What?
Hi, I'm Angela, and I'm a sort of roadside assistance for you tonight. Not like that AA or AAA, quadruple A, whatever you call it, but I can help you where you really need it. I brought you some hot chocolate. There's 2 regular with whipped cream.
Thanks.
And 1 diet chocolate minus the whipped cream, because somebody ought to be watching his carbs a little bit more.
Oh, thanks.
Now, everything's taken care of. It's just a short walk down this road to the church, so if you leave now, you won't miss a thing. They've changed the beginning a little this year. They've added this delightful character who just talks and talks and talks, never lets anyone else say a word. Have you ever met anyone like that? You know, once when I was in Persia.
Yes, I have met people who won't shut up. Now, who are you again?
I told you, I'm Angela. I'm your roadside assistant.
Oh, I see. Well, did you bring a tire for my car?
Well, of course not, silly. How could I have carried your hot chocolate if I was holding a tire?
Oh, right. Well, do you have a phone that I could use to call someone who could help me? Because I'm in more of a hurry than you could possibly imagine.
I know.
You know what?
I know what a hurry you're in. You nearly ran me over back there.
What?
That was you? Are you hurt?
Of course not.
Well, I'm glad you're all right, but flying across the road in pitch darkness seems a pretty strange way to drum up business for a roadside hot chocolate stand.
Well, how else was I going to get you to stop? Like I said, you really should get started.
Look, I'm not going anywhere except to Philadelphia. Now, do you have a phone that I could use to call somebody who could really help me?
I told you, everything's taken care of, but it'll be at least an hour and a half before anyone can come with a spare. So you have plenty of time to get to the show.
An hour and a half. Oh, jeez.
You talked about a show. You said the church. What show? What church? What are you talking about?
There's this beautiful outdoor nativity play just down the road that thousands come to see every year. It tells the most wondrous story of all time in a way that leaves you absolutely speechless.
You obviously haven't seen it then.
Excuse me?
Nothing. Look, I'd really like to go, but I can't. I don't have the time.
But Dad, I'd like to go. Could we please? You could still make your plane in the morning.
I really can't. It's just not going to happen.
Well, what choice do you have? You're stuck. And this beautiful daughter of yours is going to be grown up and gone before you know it. You need to make the most of every single minute you have with her. No one ever went to their grave wishing they'd spent more time in the office, you know.
Oh, look, I appreciate it, I really do, but I'm just not the religious kind of guy.
I can tell, but you know what? This isn't a religious kind of thing. It's a family kind of thing. It's about the unconditional love of a father for his children and the sacrifices he's willing to make just to have them near him. It's about making the season last all year long. That special feeling you have on Christmas morning, it happens every day because of a love that's in your heart. A love from God that you've ignored for too long. You know, there's something special in the air this time of year. Certain hope and excitement. Most people feel it at least a little bit, enough to make them smile at a stranger in the street or throw some change in a charity collection bucket. But most people, they never really get it. They only catch a glimpse of that love.
Okay, I mean, are we in a Christmas movie? You're not going to start singing, are you?
And December comes and goes, and there they are, living their same old lives, running around like mice in a maze, only worried about their own little piece of cheese. Most of the time not too happy about it, I can tell you. But, you know, once you really feel God's love, it's all different. You can't just save it all for Christmas. You feel it, share it every day.
All right, we'll go. But look, this tire has got to be fixed when I get back, and this car has got to get on the road to Philadelphia. If I'm not in that car, my boss is going to kill me. Are you listening to me?
Oh, whatever.
Oh, funny.
Now this is the story of how Jesus the Messiah was born. Many ages before this day, the prophet Isaiah had said, "O Bethlehem of Judah, you are not just a lowly village in Judah, for a ruler will come from you, who will be the shepherd for my people Israel. Look, a virgin will conceive a child. She will give birth to a son, and he will be called Emmanuel, which means God is with us." Now God sent the angel Gabriel to a village in Galilee, to a virgin named Mary. She was engaged to be married to Joseph, a descendant of King David. Gabriel appeared to her and said,
"Greetings, favored woman. The Lord is with you. Don't be frightened, Mary, for God has decided to bless you. You will become pregnant and have a son, and you are to name him Jesus. He will be very great and will be called the Son of the Most High. The Lord God will give him the throne of his ancestor David, and he will reign over Israel forever."
But how can I have a baby? I'm a virgin.
"The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. So the baby born to you will be holy, and he will be called the Son of God, for nothing is impossible with God."
I am the Lord's servant, and I am willing to accept whatever he wants. May everything you have said come true.
Later, that same year, the Roman Emperor, Caesar Augustus, decreed that a census should be taken throughout the Roman Empire. This was the first census taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria.
To all those living in the Roman provinces of Judea and Samaria, by order of the Roman Emperor, you must return to the cities of your birth to be counted in a census. At this time, a contribution will be expected of all those privileged to live under the continual protection of the Roman government and of its laws and culture. This is by divine decree, Caesar Augustus, Emperor of the Roman Empire.
So everyone went to their own towns to be registered. Because he was a descendant of David, Joseph left Nazareth, a town in Galilee, and went to Bethlehem, which was known as the city of King David. Mary, being engaged to marry him, went with Joseph to register. Mary was now pregnant, but as there were no rooms left in the inn, they had to stay in a stable.
He would shine his light in the darkness. He said a virgin would conceive and give birth to the promise. For 1,000 years the dreamers dreamt and hoped to see his love. But the promise showed their wildest dreams had simply not been wild enough. The promise showed their wildest dreams had simply not been wild enough. The promise was love and the promise was life. The promise meant light to the world, living proof that Yahweh saves, for the name of the promise was Jesus. Time was full and the ancient pledge was honored. So God the Son, the incarnate one, his final word, his own Son, was born in Bethlehem but came into our hearts to live. What more could God have given? Tell me, what more did he have to give? What more could God have given? Tell me, what more did he have to give? The promise was love and the promise was life. The promise meant light to the world, living proof that Yahweh saves, for the name promise was Jesus, living proof that Yahweh saves, for the name of the promise was Jesus.
While Mary and Joseph were in Bethlehem, the time came for Mary to have her baby. She gave birth to her firstborn child, a son. So she wrapped him snugly in cloth and laid him in a manger where animals were fed.
Your baby boy would one day walk on water. Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you would soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy would give sight to a blind man? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would calm the storm with his hand? Did you know that your baby boy has walked where angels trod? When you kissed your little baby, then you've kissed the face of God. Mary, did you know? Mary, did you know? Your baby boy is Lord of all creation. Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day rule the nation? Did you know that your baby boy is heaven's perfect lamb, and the sleeping child you're holding is the great I
How could it be, this baby in my arms, sleeping now so peacefully, the Son of God? The angels said, how could it be? Lord, I know he's not my own, not can I raise a king? He looks so small, his face and hands so fair. And when he cries, the sun just seems to disappear. But when he laughs, it shines again. How could it be? Father, show me where I fit into this plan of yours. How can a man be father to the Son of God? Lord, for all my life I've been this simple carpenter. How can I raise a king? How can I raise my king? How could it be? This baby in my arms, sleeping now so peacefully. The Son of God, the angel said, how could it be? How could it be? How could it be?
That night, some shepherds were in the fields nearby, watching their sheep. An angel of the Lord stood before them. The glory of the Lord shone around them, and suddenly they became frightened.
You don't have to fear, 'cause I got good news for you. In the city of David, the King is born. Suddenly all around me, I heard a company of angels praising God and singing, joy to the world. The Lord is come. 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 Unto the world this day, our Savior is born. Joy to the world. Joy to the world. Joy to the world. Jesus is come.
Then the angels left the shepherds and went back to heaven. The shepherds said to one another, "Let's go to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has told us about." So they hurried off and found Mary and Joseph and the baby who was lying in the manger. When they had seen him, they spread the word concerning what had been told them about this child, and all who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds said to them. But Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things they had heard and seen, which were just as they had been told. Jesus was born in the town of Bethlehem in Judea during the time when Herod was king. After Jesus was born, some wise men from the east came to Jerusalem. They asked, "Where is the baby who was born to be the King of the Jews? We saw his star in the east and have come to worship him." When King Herod heard about this new King of the Jews, he was troubled, and all the people in Jerusalem were worried too. Herod called a meeting of all the leading priests and teachers of the law. He asked them where the Christ would be born. They answered, "In the town of Bethlehem in Judea," as they again recalled the words the prophet spoke those many years before. "But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, you are important among the rulers of Judah. A ruler will come from you. He will be like a shepherd for my people, the Israelites." Then Herod had a secret meeting with the wise men from the east. He learned from them the exact time they first saw the star. Then Herod sent the wise men to Bethlehem. He said to them, "Go and look carefully to find the child. When you find him, come and tell me. Then I can go worship him too." The wise men heard the king and then left. They saw the same star they had seen in the east. It went before them until it stopped above the place where the child was. When the wise men saw the star, they were filled with joy. They went to the house where the child was and saw him with his mother Mary. They bowed down and worshiped the child. They opened their gifts and gave him treasures of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. But God warned the wise men in a dream not to go back to Herod, so they went home to their own country by a different way. The Apostle Paul wrote that even though Jesus was God, for our sake, he put aside his heavenly glory and humbled himself to death, even death, on a cross. The disciple John wrote, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, so that everyone who believes in him will not perish, but have eternal life."
Who would have thought that long ago, so very far away, a little child would be born and in a manger lay? Who would have thought this little child was born the King of Kings, the son of just a carpenter, but for whom the angels sing? And who would have thought that as he grew and with other children play, this child with whom they laughed and sang would die for them someday? And who would have thought this little child could make a blind man see? He could feed the hungry, make rich the poor, and set the sinner free. Oh, who would have thought this little child was who the prophet said would take away the sins of man and rise up from the dead? Many years have come and gone, yet this world remains the same. Empires have been built and fallen, only time has made a change. Nation against nation, brother against brother, men so filled with hatred, killing one another, and over half the world is starving, while our banner of decency is torn, debating over disarmament, killing children before they're born, and fools who march to win the right to justify their sin. thought this little child is who the prophet said will return to judge the world, the living and the dead. Oh, can't you see that long ago, so very far away, it's little child, our only hope, was born a king that day.
Wow. Wow, that was so good.
Yes. Yes, I understand, Alan. No, I'm definitely not going to change my mind. All right. Thanks very much. Okay. Bye now.
I thought you didn't have any service here, Dad.
Oh, you're right. But I guess I'm getting the signal now.
Who was that on the phone?
That was Alan.
Is everything okay?
Well, he's not really happy.
But you couldn't help being late, and you'll make your flight without any problem.
Well, I decided not to go.
What? What made you change your mind?
Well, I don't know exactly. After seeing that, I just feel like I've been given a gift. I mean, something's all stirred up inside of me, and I'm not really sure what it is. And I know if I leave now, I'm afraid that it's going to get lost. And I'm pretty sure it involves the two of you and God.
And God?
Yes. At least that's what I have to find out. What we have to find out.
Dad, look. The tire's completely fixed.
It is?
Yeah. Oh, here's a note from Angela.
Really?
Don't let the little things keep you away from what's truly important. The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah.
What does she mean, the main thing?
Well, she must mean that Christmas isn't just an everyday event. That what we saw and felt here tonight, it needs to be in our lives every single day.
Yeah. I think that's what she was trying to tell us before we went to the Nativity.
Yeah, she was saying that we shouldn't save all our love for Christmas Day, but to find a way to share it every day.
Well, as odd as she is, she's right.
Speaking of Angela, where'd she go?
You know, I looked for her after the show, but I couldn't find her anywhere. She just seemed to sort of disappear.
The lone angel, huh?
Yeah. Well,
Can we go home now? Really cold.
absolutely. But first, let's go get some hot chocolate. I'll get diet.
Honey, I'm so thrilled you're going to stay home for Christmas. But what about that big account?
Whatever.
Dad, could you put the radio on? Maybe we could find some nice Christmas songs to listen to.
Sure, honey. That's a great idea.
An exclusive.
Don't get so busy that you miss giving just a little kiss to the ones you love. Don't even wait a little while to give them just a little smile. A little is enough. See how many it's a fact. But saying I love you's always better. The seasons, reasons, they don't matter. So don't hold back. See how many people in this world, so needful in this world. How many people are praying for love? So don't save it all for Christmas Day. Find a way to give a little love every day. Don't save it all for Christmas Day. Find a way, 'cause holidays have come and gone. Love lives on if we give on, give love. And little the children know, everywhere that they go, their whole life long, let them know find a way to give a little love every day. Don't save it all for Christmas Day. Find a way to give a little love to everyone, every day. Find a way, 'cause holidays have come and gone. But love lives on if we give on. We gotta give love, yeah, yeah. Give love.
What a great day it is to be out here up on the site of the gift, our 11th annual production of the gift. And so I'd like to take a moment and just share a little bit about how it started, why we do it, and all that kind of wonderful stuff. About 11 years ago, a board member by the name of Andy Check, he came to me 13 days before Christmas and I was thinking about it myself, and he said to me, he said, what about doing an outside nativity? We had 13 days before Christmas, and in a matter of 4 or 5 days, we put this thing together. It was quite a lot smaller than it is today, but that's where it started. 11 years ago, we did a small nativity. I think it was 100 people showed up for 2 performances, 100 people total. And today we have anywhere from 6,000 to 7,000 that show up on a yearly basis, and it's going from 100 to 6,000, 7,000. Why do we do this? People ask all the time, why do we do this? Because it costs anywhere from $30,000 to $35,000 to do this, and of course there's no admission fee or anything like that, and just takes man hours, thousands of man hours. And why would we do this? Well, I guess the same question could be asked to God, to Jesus. Why did he do that? He did what he did because he loved us. That's the only reason he came down. He loved us and wants to spend eternity with us. So therefore he gave us, humanity, a free gift, and it cost him everything. So therefore, since he gave us a gift, we want to give a gift to the community. That's why we call it the gift. His gift to us. Romans talks about it's his free gift to us, and we give a free gift to the community. And we hope we can continue to do it until Jesus comes every year, 3 or 4 nights, well, 3 nights usually, and 5 performances. And it's a great time. And the amount of people it takes to do this, I sit back in amazement at how we even get this thing done. I mean, there's over 120 people get dressed for this performance. We have over 200 people working behind the scenes, besides the actors. Some of the actors do work behind the scenes also, but over 200 people work behind the scenes to make this thing happen. People from the community help, and from all over the country, really, that come to help put this together. It starts in earnest. Now, we start in April thinking about it, but it starts in earnest about September, working, every weekend about something, doing some part of this. And unless you actually see it, the makings of it, it's hard to imagine. They'll say, this is hard work. They're out in the snow. They're out in the rain. Their hands are freezing. They're cold. They're wet. Some of them, we always pray for their safety and also pray for their health. And some of them even get sick, but they come back out and they have colds and flus, and they're still working because they want this to happen. Because it's a great gift. And what's neat though, when it's over, everyone says it was well worth it. It was well worth it. I'll do it again next year. Count on me next year for being part of that. And it always grows. It really grows. And whenever we think we've added enough, we're done, we're going to keep it the same, there's always something we change. And it's always for the better. And it's a wonderful event. We love it. It's probably the greatest thing we do as a church. It brings people together, not only together the nights of the performances, but all year long. People are working together. We trust that it'll continue to be not only a tradition, a good family tradition, and we usually try to do it a week before Christmas. Sometimes we even do it closer than a week before Christmas, because we want people to realize you've done all the hustle and the bustle, you've shopped, you've bought all your presents, you've hung your lights and decorated the tree and so on, but now come to see what Christmas is really all about. Because it's one thing we don't want our nation to ever lose, or the world to ever lose, why we do Christmas. It's more than just some place for retailers to make some money, and though that's all part of it, I realize it. The decorations are pretty, and songs are wonderful we sing, whether they be spiritual or they be secular, they're wonderful, and it's a more joyous time of the year for most people. Some, of course, it's a very difficult time, but most it's a joyous time. But however, the real reason, and I know it's a cliche, and it can be said too often, but it can't be said too often, really. Jesus is the reason for the season. This epitomized it well for me. This is my greatest moment, I think, in the Nativity. There's been many great moments, but the greatest moment was we had put about 300 bales of hay down. People sit on the bleachers, they sit on hay, they stand, and wherever they can. Some people bring their own chairs, but anyways, in the front row there was about 100 people sitting in the front row, and there was one little boy especially, about 8 years old, and he was sitting next to his mother, and all of a sudden when it was over, he just started to jump on the hay bale next to his mom and grabbing a hold of his mom's arm and just saying, "Mommy, Mommy, now I know what it's all about. Now I know what it's all about." That just epitomized the whole Christmas season for me. That's what it's all about. People knowing, now I know what it's all about. What Christmas is about, what Easter's about, what Jesus is all about, and what we're all about with him. So we just hope people will open the gift this year. They'll come to see it, but they'll open their own gift because everybody has a gift with their name on it. And I want to just say thank you to all the cast and everybody who helps, all the people behind the scenes to make this possible. I am the most blessed individual, I think, on earth to have people who will sacrifice, volunteers who will sacrifice hundreds and thousands of hours to make this thing a reality. And of course, it makes me look good. And they do all the work, really. And I'm just the most blessed individual in the world. I want to say thank you to everybody who has and anybody who will this year and the next year and the next year for helping make the gift a reality and a success.